Now in this lecture I'm going to talk about where the name of dynamic programming comes from. Many people get scared when they hear this name. And when I say dynamic programming, it sounds like we write code that does different things and it has different sort of varying output or somehow it's changing. But here, in reality, that's not the case. In fact, dynamic programming was coined back in the 1940s by this guy, Richard Bellman, to describe something that has nothing to do with computers or computer programming or computer science. So he was referring to optimizing military schedules. So if you go to the Wikipedia and search for dynamic programming, you can see that there's a long quote which explains it over here. So I'm not going to go to the details of it. So if you are interested, you can go and read it up and read about it in Wikipedia. So essentially, the word dynamic was chosen by Bellman to capture the time varying aspects of the problems, and he chose it because it sounded very impressive. So he was trying to come up with the phrase that which was pleasing the people so that he would get found essentially. Now here, programming didn't mean to refer to computer programming. It refers finding an optimal program in the same way. So here, the programming didn't refer to the computer programming. It refers to find an optimal programming way over here. So as you see, the word programming over here has nothing to do with coding. It has totally different meaning over here. So when we put together dynamic programming, it sounds like something that makes sense in today's modern world around code or ever-changing, fast-paced, crazy algorithms. That is not what it is, but actually it refers coming up with an optimal solution outside of the code world, like in math, in planning, or in decision making. But it's also applied in the world of coding and programming, so we will talk about them in our upcoming lectures. So in this lecture, I just want to make sure that when you hear a dynamic programming phrase, you don't need to be scared because it's not as scary as it sounds. So in this lecture, I just tried to explain where the dynamic programming phrase comes from. So we have learned that it's not as scary as it sounds. So see you in the next lecture.